hope I'm ready. Just wait for the big boy. There we go, the big boy. And dropping frames, we're good. Hello. What's going on? It's me. Hi. Just gonna move my mic over here a little bit. How is everyone doing? You know the audio. What's up? So today we are going to be looking at the best of 5, the opening season finals, weekend games. Couldn't actually cover on the Sunday, A, because I watched the Women's World Cup final, and B, the LEC started a couple hours earlier than normal. So we're gonna be doing it now. There we go. That's my goal. Put me in. There we go. Bottom corner. Just as we like it. You know, can't wait till the end of this season, because I already have in place the plans for the new setup that we're going to for these videos / streams. So yeah, let's get into it. Obviously, we're entering patch 13.15. Nerfs to LeBlanc came through, and changes to how static shift works with her. Kind of a big thing, so she realistically falls down that totem pole. And the LEC, I believe, is the only region on 13-15 for their playoffs. A lot of the other regions, like the LCS, is on 13-13. Changes haven't actually affected them yet. Draft-wise so far, big things to note, I would say, is we're probably going to see a lot of different things be thrown out as teams kind of find their way into OPs. I believe the LCK. Were the LCK at 13-15? That's something I need to check. But essentially, draft-wise, it's going to be very hard to get, shall we say, as nice. I disappeared. Where'd I go? Hello? Okay. I can't move. So I'm just gonna do okay, it's not letting me because it's locked. There we go. So draft wise, let's get into it. I need to start breaking this down. So Rumble, Maokai, and Triss banned out by man. XL remover Talia, which is a bit surprising. It hasn't been seen by anyone during the regular summer split. You've also got Xayah removed and LeBlanc. Xayah removed means that the priority on Rakan kind of goes down, because you usually pair it with that as the lowest duo, obviously. Xayah as a whole is a very safe ADC, and you think Kazi, this year he's played relatively safe ADCs. The Ezreals and the Xayah's kind of been his go-to. So removing probably the safest of the two off the board is kind of a nice thing that they've done here, XL. But draft, as it's gone through the first 3 picks, we need to kind of look at before we talk bans. So first pick Rel, kind of obvious. It's probably one of the most OP picks at the moment with how draft is, I would say. And you know, I'm a big fan of draft, and that's regular season. Yeah, so LEC are the only region on 13-15, which is going to be interesting because we're defining a meta for once that probably will be crushed by the East, as I believe Worlds will be on 13-16, and Nefari, I read somewhere that he may be enabled. I'm not sure, but with how trends have been over the previous years, it probably he wouldn't or isn't enabled. It's just hard to tell. Anyway, first round of picks. We need to discuss it. Rel, kind of the stock standard flex jungler / support that we've seen throughout this year. It's kind of surprising that Nautilus fell out of that role and Rel's become the more predominant, even though Nautilus hasn't lost that threat. And it surprises me that a lot of teams in Europe have lost the ability to draft, and that's something as a region we've kind of lacked on for a few years. Is our drafting skill sucks compared to the rest of the world. Anyway, getting into Excel's first round of picks, they get for Odoamne, a Renekton, and an Alistar in full limit. It's a weird one because you're not necessarily doing much with the Renekton pick. It's a weird first pick, to be honest. You'd expect maybe ADC here because you kind of expect Kazi to be a bit more safe. The fact that Triss is banned, there's no one really going to jump on you as a ADC. Zeri, Kaiser could come through. In fact, I would prefer the Kaiser coming in here. It's not something that you'd expect out of Hapadage as a mid lane pick, but you still will keep that flex open, and that's something that I'd prefer over a Renekton insta-lock. As for the Alistar, it makes sense. You've got a Rel lock-in, you have the counter pick there. You kind of deny Mad from getting that on second rotation, because you're not going to pick a Nautilus or a Rakan into your route. You're just career suiciding. And so Alistar snuck away the big metallic horse and do work that way. As for the response from Madlions, we get to talk about Ivan and Azir. Yeah, let's be honest. Ivan is a weird one. He got nerfed going into these patches, but he also got a slight buff to his W. And I've recently played against Ivans in solo queue. He is a goddamn menace. Absolutely carries games. And yeah, we're a patch ahead technically. In a league, I just went to check that, as you do. But essentially, he's very powerful in the way he can control a game. The clear speed's a bit weird, because you have to prep a wave or prep minions to do it, but you know, it is what it is. He's still very good with the Daisy, and I think with what Madlions are drafting so far, they're looking to control areas of the map, not allow Excel to advance their position, and with the Azir there as a secondary sort of defense with the ultimate to stand aside, it's not stand aside, to stream shuffle into the Emperor's Divide, that's its name. It's a very good seam so far from Mad to disrupt and shift positions of the enemy team. And it's something that you also forget is there's some actual good combinations here. If Ivan lent his Q. Azir can dash to the target that's hit by it. Then he can use his own dashes to get behind and get a really nice Emperor's Divide into a crash down from the Rel. You've got a mass wombo combo already forming for Mad. And so team fighting against him looks very difficult. The response, the last pick from this phase, sees Kalista. Now, I don't know about you, but that's saying aggression, bot lane, get early advantage against whomever they're laning against. Because you know it's now a Rel down there. I, for one, think that the draft so far from XL is relatively weak. The Kalista kind of... You're putting yourself at risk on that pick, because she is quite short range. And the Magnet Storm, I believe, if you put you in... You're in range of the Magnet Storm if you approach the Rel in auto attack range. You're very much so going to be kind of bursted out. And that's something that you really have to think about. As I have frozen, good job camera, really carrying this camera. But yet, as I was saying, Kalista seems very weak in this comp, and personally, I don't like it, you know. Anyway, let's get into the second round rotation. Immediate ban of the Varus. That tells me that Kazi has been practicing some different picks here. Because Zaya's safe. Varus, a bit weird, all things considered, as a ban. But you have to think, well, you're kind of forcing one to that Ezreal that he's played throughout his career as this fullback ADC. He's not synonymous with Xerxes. He does play Aphelios, but that's... You don't see in the meta too often anymore. But he is still there as a big pick. The second ban coming out from Mad is the Ahri. That's a surprising one to me. Because Abadage... Actually, no, it's not. Abadage has kind of defaulted to Ahri when Azir's banned. So never mind. That makes some sense. XL also removed the Draven. They're really targeting Kazi's pool. They've left the Ezreal widely open, and that just means they're probably wanting to dive on him. And Ezreal's such a bad champion. Honestly, I would have preferred them banning the Ezreal here in R2 and or B2, and then letting the Draven go over. And yeah, it's a threat if he gets going, but if you're able to stall him out, probably gonna make it a little bit harder for him to do anything. Regardless of that, second rotation, you know it's coming through. The meta that lives the tests of time. Corki into Azir. It does scream Abadage pick as well. Surprising. No one. Corki, honestly, it's not good at the moment. It's not that powerful. Yes, you can build static shiv on him and do something, but you still want to rely on the poke. Honestly, looking at how the draft has gone now, XL, you could have gone Kaiser as your third pick. Then you could have honestly gone Jace mid. It would have made some sense, because then you have some AP in the form of the Kaiser who can just stack up Ludens and Static Shiv together. Nash's Tooth on top of it. You would have been okay. You'd have the damage, but now you look at the Madlions comp, the Poppy coming through. You've got so much resistance on the Mad side. Kalista just gets hard countered by Poppy. It surprises me Poppy also could have been a very potent ban for the second phase. Yeah, Excel's drafting really does suck here. It's the simplest way to put it. They suck. And I personally don't think they've done a good job here. The Viego on top, yeah. There's not much AP. Corky's mixed damage, don't forget. But is predominantly AP, I guess. But it's still mixed damage. Don't like the draft at all from XL. It's very weak. You get hardballed by that Poppy. So yeah, there's that. But we can be hopeful here. Let's talk about how we get into this game. What are the starts we're expecting to see from both teams? Ivan, I mean, it doesn't really matter where you start. You probably start blue. Get your top side all grassed up. Then come bot side. Grass that up. Probably clear out a couple of camps in it. And go on your merry way. Regardless of that, if you're XL, how do you want to start? Viego, probably start clearing his top side into bot. Probably look to get a gank bot lane to level 2 or mid. That'll be the ideal maneuvers. Oh yeah, this is the game pauses, isn't it? So I'm just gonna skip ahead past a lot of it. And there we go. Into the game we go. I'm also going to move myself back down. Let's go. Obviously, new HUD. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Don't like it, personally. It's weird because it puts the stopwatches underneath them. I'd honestly put the characters down to the bottom. Have the stopwatches above. Because then you can at least see them. Also, all activatables should go above. Because if we get a Zoe in the game, that would be pretty interesting. Anyway, starts as expected. Ivan's doing his top side, same as Viego. It's important to note, no real deep vision on Mad's side. XL got a ward onto the Raptors pit, means that when a big boy Elyoya crosses over, he will have been spotted. And you know, I like spotting obvious plays. Now, surprisingly, Limit burnt his flash. So, actually, that's not a surprise. It's an Alistar. He prefers Hex Slash. I'm actually surprised Kazi hasn't gone cool here, because the entire point of Mad's comp is just to outscale you. Stop any sort of fighting, because you just win late if you do. And so, personally, Kazi could have gone cool here, which I think Patrick may be going to buy up right now, considering he's taking his first base. He's going to buy a longsword and trade out his potions. Bit of a surprise, honestly. But you know, I'm a cool enjoyer, if you can't tell by how I say things. I certainly would have expected it to come through. But hey, it is what it is. And as the game gets going, we are going to see a lot of cool interactions, I feel, as already trading out between the bot lanes. Going to be spotted out there is Elyoya. He doesn't know that. Honestly, Hilly plays quite aggressive. Also, Flash was burnt by Kazi. I forgot that. Basically, Limit probably traded Flash for Flash with Kazi. We just didn't see it, or I missed it. And so, it's also surprising Ivan's gone Dark Seal. So I'm expecting it to be Dark Seal into then Boots of Lucidity. Can't speak. Cleanse Burn. That's Ignite down. Just clean. Hilly pretty much won that fight on his own. Yes, Kazi's presence was needed, because otherwise Limit would have turned. But yeah, that was a clean fight. Mad. Patrick. Ooh, that's a misplay by Hully. So, I know what he was trying to do, but you think how this actually happened. So he goes forward, exhausted. This is relatively where you want to be jumping forward, because of the slow. He cues the minion. Yikes. He limp dicks the crash down. And that would be where you'd want to queue after the crash down, but yeah. Just a misplay there, I think, from Hilly. That means that Patrick survives. Well, I say survives, he probably would have flashed and lived. But that would have been the summoner still burnt. Abba taking a lot of damage here against Niski. But hey. Bank's now going to come through from the bot side. Tried to reset already, did our young Kazi. Actually going to get that off now. The wave will slowly push back to him. Limit going to chip away at it as minions get low. This is honestly a good state of the game for Mad. Like, all things considered, you got Tyr and Sheen in Ezreal. He's fine for the rest of the game. And this is where I would have preferred a call, because Ezreal with Tyr and Sheen just clears waves quick. Having a call would have meant that you just get more gold from it in the end. And that's something ADCs I don't think take full advantage of. And I mean, I'm a big call enjoyer, as I've said. But yeah. Lucidity boots picked up for Ivan, as expected. Probably gonna go now for his either Redemption or Moonstone, just so you have it, or Echoes, whichever you prefer. Should mean he gets control there. Odo slicing away at Chasey's health bar. Not much to be expected in that top matchup other than Renekton bullying the Poppy early. Once Poppy gets enough armor stacked into her, then Renekton can't bully her as hard as top. Hilly gonna get knocked away. Got a good Q down. Obviously trying to punish the cleanseless Kalista, try and get that flash out would be huge for Mad. But no, not gonna get it. Instead, what we are gonna see is XL just hold the wave. I'm trying to, if you can't tell, move my mic into a comfortable position. There we go. That's better. Anyway. Herald's going to be started up by Peach. Surprising, considering the roam out of Mad can come through. Odo getting knocked up by Ivan, but first kill and the Herald goes over to XL. Poppy dashes forward, gonna deny to Viego any advancement. Just quicker rotations out from XL. Bot lane just took a base both side, and so the supports come up just quicker though from Limit. Means that XL collapse better, get more from it as Abadage. He has no mana, just gonna get knocked up and just routed by this Bash Brothers. Ivan doesn't do enough damage early, plus he is building support. It means that Abba's forced to flash even though damage is very, very low from those two. Anyway, essentially it's a 3v3 at this point, but look at how quick Limit comes forward. Ivan focuses out Renekton, but Odo just gets immediately on top of Niski, not allowing him to play the fight, can't ult, so he's no safety, and so essentially what this is setting up is the narrative of this game. If Odo can get onto a target, chances are that target will die. And the big thing about Renekton is he needs his flash in order to do that most of the time, because a target's gonna just either use the Emerald's Divide in Niski's case, or just knock him away or pull him away with the Magnum Pull. And the Keeper's Verdict by JC. There's a lot of tools to keep Odo at bay in this game, and you kind of start to notice it when you take a stock check of what people do. And that I think is important for how this game is actually going to go. There's a lot more strength as this game goes on, and I think there is a higher skill ceiling for the Madlions comp with how they deal with each member of XL. Like, do you knock that target away? Who do you knock away? It's a big thing. Who do you engage on? Do you want to pull all of the enemies into you? It's a very complex sort of diagram. Itemization. First complete item surprisingly went into Abadage's pockets. It's the Mana Munich, and he's stacking that one up. Obviously, with the rockets that can be fired out, he is going to be very powerful with the amount of damage he can put out with the build. And getting to actual fights like around the Drake, you have to consider when Corkin got his sort of mid-scope update, the package was a big thing, and using it effectively in fights to section off members was kind of what you use it for. Here, he uses it very early, it does very little damage, obviously he hasn't got the most damage build, so XL kind of just stand and watch the Drake. Yeah, Odo is proxying the wave, but like, you're giving up bot lane pressure to Kazi. He's gonna crash in a wave. Yeah, Odo crashes in top wave and has TP, so you can easily go answer or push somewhere else. It's just, though, in my opinion, Mad can give up side lane pressure in order to force Drakes, and if they force Drakes, then it forces XL to respond. If XL are forced to respond, then Mad can get the advantage on sides, or they can just win out a team fight. Now, Limit looks to have caught AC out here, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, Poppy can just put Steadfast Presence up, means that Limit can't headbutt him in, because that counts as a dash. There's nothing that Limit can do there, plus the damage seems relatively non-existent in that top side for Excel. Yes, Kalissa's up there, but Patrick would not have killed the Poppy. So, taking a look at the items, as the first itemization comes through as that's going to be the lockdown onto Abadage, force flash away. As top side, Ivan and Daisy just doing work, bopping away targets. Daisy falls as, yeah. Just going to be a trade of summoners as Odo, he's chasing into Heli. Going to be forced away. And more minions die into the tower because Odo took a greedy path. And yeah. Yikes, all things considered. Now we see a nice... It's only a 500 gold lead to Excel. Kind of in the top lane, but as a Poppy you don't really care too much about CS, you just need to provide tank stats. As Peach gets locked up, knocked down very low. Dive forward, the Emperor's Divide. Gonna get the first kill of the fight, but it's gonna be a trade as the support dies for the Viego. In the end, Overwhelming kicks up a double kill as the rockets are just being fired in. Pew, 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 pew. It's gonna be, in the end, 2 kills to 1. And, you know, there's not really much to say about that fight. It just seemed over-aggressive from Mad, trying to force something they didn't need to force. Because Harold's up, yeah. XL probably going to be happy that they can go towards that now. But like, watch it. Mad's starting up the Harold. Hilly decides to go in onto Peach because, obviously, you kill the jungler, it means... But essentially, the goal here for Mad is kill jungle, don't allow him any contention onto this Harold. That's the simple play. And while, yes, Hilly gets a nice lockdown onto XL, in fact, he's in the mix of it. Good use of the ult there by Peach to negate the Niski ult. But he goes straight into... Rel. Now this is in a bad situation because he's right in top of Patrick and Limit. He just gets chunked out by that. Abadage ATP's in. Yeah. XL just quicker to respond to like picks more so than anything. It's not to the fight because Mad were all there as a Limit knocking back the Ivan. Alyoya gonna be killed off where he stands, and the keeper's verdict, while it comes through, it does nothing to stop the death of his jungler. XL starting to build up a gold lead for themselves. A 2.7k gold lead. And while not the biggest, it will pay advantage and dividends to keep a lead over Mad, because you need the combat's damage really to do work against them. As gonna be a nice blessing one picked up there for the Corki. You're gonna need that AP damage as Mad turns straight to this Herald. XL obviously on a recall, gonna be getting set up for this Drake in 10 seconds. You have to feel as Corky picks up the package, running it down to join his team. The wave going to be cut in mid by both teams. And so the nice dance for Drake begins. But Mad have obviously got that Herald. Going to use it mid. Try and crack open the outer tower in exchange for this secondary to excel. Because obviously you're probably not going to win a pushing fight or a Drake fight against a Smite from Viego and the Ren from Callista if XL are on point. Now, stepping forward is XL. Not going to find in the Burush Hillisang, and so he gets back to safety. Topside, Niski's going to push out top wave. Try and get that crash into tier 2, but Abadari responds. And Peach getting caught out, knocked up into the air by the Ivan, forced to use the Heartbreaker, but he is being chased down, knocked up into the air. Easy kill over to Kazi, as a bit of a misstep comes out from the XL jungler, costing him his life. Patrick, gonna catch out Hilly, gonna deny the blast cone away, going over the wall, flashing forward is Limit, but here comes the collapse from Mad, as they all come in to protect Hilly, who gets killed off by Patrick. But on top half of the fight, Limit will fall to Kazi, and it's Niski kills off Patrick. That's 2 for 1, and somehow Hillisang gets them baited in hook, line, sinker. It surprises me that actually happened. And I'm gonna go back before it even happened. So here, essentially, Epi gets spotted there by Patrick, so they know he's there. You look where Mad are, they're all in this bottom half jungle. Only Niski isn't. Like, Ezreal has a quick glance. This is always going to be a 4 versus 2. The fact that Poppy stepping up into the wave, you can't see it right now with the YouTube bar. She's there. It's just how quick Mad turn back to protect Hill. Like, they've got the super speed flashing forward even by the Ivan to lock up the target. The exhaust comes through as well. It's just everyone quickly collapsing to bail out Hilly. But the big thing to note is you see Abadage on the wave already, so you know he's topside. You probably assume he's got a cover with him to not allow him to be collapsed on, like, ganked from the side. So you expect 2 topside, which I believe Peach was before he went back to base. Well, we know that Patrick and Limit are there. They're gonna kill him, obviously. And then the 4th one being Odo. I believe you will have seen him in the midway. Simple as. Mad just know where XL were and punished them for it. It's just good work by Madlions in terms of controlling areas of the map technically, which is the whole goal of what Hilly wants to do, is just secure areas to allow his team to play like that. He was just going to brush, so it allowed Chasey the opportunity to push and then go for a turret dive if a person came to respond. But yeah, it's not a weird position for the Rel. It looks it, and the fact that he's getting punished for it also is a bit weird, but it's just Mad trying to play advantage and protection while also making it look crazy. That's the simple way to put it. Let's take stock of items right now. I think the big thing to note is It's a 2-item lead on the top end of the lane for Excel. It's really swinging an advantage. Look at it. You've got Crown and Nash's Tooth, Niski, but the Gorky already building up to that third item. Already completed her boots as well, and yeah. This seems slightly stronger at this point in the game, and these are going to be firing out quite a lot of hope with the Ludens as well. And it's a fully stacked up Madlions. So that is very, very threatening. Also hadn't died yet, which is a surprise because I thought Mad would try and punish Abadagi in this game. Regardless, that hasn't happened, and as we're past the 20-minute mark, the Baron dance can begin as Odo gets locked up there by the Q from Ivan. Isn't going to result in any sort of big kerfuffle as the two teams back away into the sides. As Mad start up this Baron, Kazi kind of baiting it, but the blue trinket will spot it out. Odo though, he's caught out fighting Ivan, just going to be locked up, Stark's gate procced, and he is shut down. Keeper's verdict knocks away a key target, but the brush, it is bait, and you do not walk into it as Kazi goes on a killing spree. And Mad, 7 kills up now, turning the tables on this game. Straight into the Baron pit they go, 3-man unit, and they're still chasing XL away. Abadage and Limit forced away from this fight and forced into the bottom half of the map. To watch it again, Ivan's just baiting. Simply put, you hit Odo with a Q, he gets locked up by Heli, who goes over the wall thanks to the nice Ivan Q. As for Patrick getting knocked away, this is kind of ill-advised from you, Peach. Locks up, dies to Hilly, and then into Chasey, and then just an easy clean for Cuz. Now with Baron in hand, XL gonna be forced to defend and can't really contest this Ocean Drake, which we haven't really talked about Soul too heavily. The Drakes don't seem that important in terms of how these two teams have been playing. As second Drake picked up for Mad gives them a step closer to a eventual Soul, something that they probably benefit from the most. Ocean Soul, just the amount of health regen you get from it, and resistances just makes it so powerful. You think Poppy and the Ivan who go a bit more bruisery will just survive longer and do more damage. And that's just huge because they can just tent the front line. You can just get on top of Odo or anyone really on XL who want to go in and just negate that effect by being too bulky. So, as the skirmish begins, Hilly gonna be caught out, Ivan propped, and in goes Limit, trying to burst out Hilly, gonna get the Ignite ticking and killing him off. It's a shutdown, but look how low Patrick and Abadage are as the True Shot Barrage is gonna be sidestepped. Now, Mad looking to press the advantage from that fight, as the low health bars allow them to secure the inhibitor in the bot lane. They should back away here. Look to get some push maybe on the other lanes. You've obviously got 4 members alive. You could certainly, press the advantage. But XL are chasing. They're forcing them back. Look at how far they've been pushed back. And man, they're happy to accept it. They've got waves pushing on the top side. To watch it again, Ellie just stepping forward, missing the Q, baits him in once more into a Magnustorm. Damage getting thrown out on Odo, he's knocked up once again by the Ivan, but he isn't really the focus. It's more so the fact that Limit is diving headfirst to trade 1-for-1 with Hilly that kind of forces it to be a advantageous play to Mad, because once the Alistar goes, who denies the dive from the Azir? From Limit, from Poppy? No one. And so, the fact is, Mad just get to win out fights because XL's draft sucks. It's a simple way to describe this game, it's just a draft diff. It's nice to see Mad actually draft diffing someone. It's surprising, but hey, it's a good thing to see. Now, what I will say is, XL are no means out of this game. They've obviously got themselves 2 Drakes, get themselves a 3rd if they would survive this push. They just need to defend the towers, not allow a second inhib to fall, because then it becomes less manageable. And still Odo has an advantage, which is surprisingly healthy. It's where XL's goalie could be coming from if they were in the lead. Here we go, the engage coming out from the Alistar, and they burst out Kazi, who's frontlining. Patrick can be forced to cleanse as the health bars of the XL lineup just get bursted out. Odoame is caught out, but re-engage coming out from Rel, gonna lock up, shut down the Callista as a double kill goes over to the Azir and the Ivan. It's just a clean 1-out fight that XL overcommit into. Now Abadage forced to retreat back with that Valkyrie. He is going to allow the top lane turret to fall as his Nexus towers are in shambles, being destroyed. Rel wrapping round, Abadage gonna be jumped on, not gonna be locked up though, and instead he flashes all of it, but now Poppy's on top, and the game is over regardless. XL lose game 1 thanks to a big trap div. Simple as that. Let's get into game 2. I'm ready for another game. You know, this intro song, by the way, they use it in the Valorant Major or Champions. They've been using it, and it surprises me to see it in that, to be honest, because you're Riot, surely you'd be able to perform on one song. Anyway, draft for game 2. Will it be the same story as game 1? But draft is just superior to the Madlions. Talia removed, Rakan removed. I like this from XL. Mad, look at the Rel, remove it from the board. Rumble gone. Odo's big pick gone. Maokai gone. It's kind of stock standard from Mad in terms of the bans, but you know, I'd expect a Rel first pick if it doesn't get banned, and especially with the Poppy ban from XL, kind of signifies the likes of Callisto to be a bigger priority. Tristana could be removed. Rel immediately locked in. No negation coming out from the Poppy. However, Alistar wide open here for the Madlions. Should look to lock that one in for Hali here, first rotation. But they're gonna preface, I believe, Sivan. Something that did a lot of work in game 1. It's not actually. It's gonna be LeBlanc. First pick. Gone in, and that's surprising to me because she was nerfed. The static shift no longer procs Dark Harvest, so that effective combination is fun. I'm now going to be the second pick up here for Mad. We saw the effectiveness of it in game 1. Clearly, Alioya has shown this pick because he was just controlling areas, allowing Hilly to be Hilly, cause chaos, and just make Peach's life in the living hell. The response from XL is safe and comfort for Abadage in the Wazir. If that gets locked in, I would have preferred that game one. Just saying. But I think these are troll hoppers. Renekton gonna be the lock-in for XL. Yeah, I'm frozen again. Nice. Pause that bad boy. Fuck it. You don't need to see my face. We'll go. Essentially, looking at it, I don't like Renekton. As much as it's a good safe pick into Chasey, he's still got so many options. Casante's open. Jax technically is open. There's Camille. There's picks into this Renekton that just hard counter. Even Quinn if Chasey wants to feel himself. But Mad lock in the Alistar. They're looking like their game 1 draft minus the Azir. And going into ban rotation 2, Blister removed, makes sense. Because XL now have this full AP mid laner. It's just a big threat. And that, personally, to me, seems a lot better than what we saw in game 1. I'm also getting into a more comfy position now that I don't have my webcam on. Yay. So. Oops, sorry. As I get comfy. Let's discuss it. The draft so far does honestly look very, very weird to me. You've obviously... So, Europe's drafting really does suck in terms of meta picks. Because there's no one really defining the meta to a strong point. I think, apart from Alioya's Ivan, there's nothing really on point, and Rel, I'd have to mention. There's nothing really that's meta defining in Europe. The LCS has defined the meta more, and that's saying something. Anyway, rotation, ban rotation 2, it's just a load of ADCs. Kaiser actually finally making her presence known after an entire game of pain. I don't feel good about it. You can tell. Nah, locked in for XL. I mean, for Mad, sorry. It's continuation of their comp from game 1. Just a load of disruption and ability to get on top of you in a fight. XL though gonna respond with Aphelios and Sedge. Just a nice combo with the Renekton. There's a Sejuani. And then Aphelios is just constant damage. You've got very little protection in this comp for it. But the draft still favors Mad to me. Even though Sivir gets locked in. Which it's an alright pick. Don't get me wrong. It's not tier 1. But like, if you look at the picks that are available to Mad in that in the bot lane, sorry. You've got not much, so yeah, going down to Sivir does make sense, but I'm not obviously the biggest of supporters for it. So, as we've seen, the two teams have actually switched sides. How do we expect the starts to be? Personally, we've got to expect Hashtag do better, XL. I have to expect the start to be relatively the same for Elioya. Start probably on bot side and top as a wrap. Or start top side like he's hovering right now. Similar sort of vision as to game 1. Nothing really too deep. Obviously, you got the brushes warded in the top half by both teams. And XL, yeah, just gonna match or mirror the starts. Both starting topside, gonna wrap down to the bot. Basically the same as game 1. Hello, maybe not. We might get reverse jungles, both starting red buff. If the start position for Peach is gonna be true, he's going red buff into a top half. So we might just see ganks on the opposite side of the map from either team. As Limit and Patrick getting aggressive early. Already Limit forcing a big trade out between the two teams. He does come up worse for wears though. So XL gonna force the wave. They get pushed due to the early aggression. They're just forcing the damage down onto Kazi, and that's kind of huge. But it does look like XL are losing out on trades slightly as Flash Forward comes for the Rel level 2 immediate fight. Gonna get the flash out of Kazi, and now this bot lane is definitely in firm control of XL. They're going to be able to push this one into the tower, deny a lot of CS, and what do you know, as a cool enjoyer, we have one on the Aphelios. Makes more sense in this game for XL to have one. Not XL, for Mad to have one. Because... well, no, in game 1 it made more sense for them to have it, but... game 2 doesn't hurt you. Wait, XL are the ones with it, never mind. Game 1 it would have made sense for XL to have it. But game 2 here, yeah, it's fine. I understand why you have it. You just need it to kind of control lane against Sivir, who, don't forget, will buy more than likely static Shiv. So her lane harass will be constant. But, you know, it is what it is, and XL gonna maybe fall prey to Elioya. Obviously, we've seen Limit go aggressive constantly throughout this series, and with Hylissang not using his Q or his headbutt, it means that when Limit dives forward into the grass of Elioya, he falls for first blood into Kazi's hands. Now it's kind of a weird one, because XL originally had control of this lane thanks to blowing the summoners off of Kazi, but now they've given back control, and it's a good bait from Hilly because he leaves brush. Obviously, as a support, you take brush control, you want to control lane, and obviously it's just a great bait from Mad to force a punish. Easiest way to word it is crashing down his Limit once again. He just wants to fight this game. In fact, he's wanted to do it all series, and it's costing XL quite a lot. So you really do hate to see it, by the way. I have to make the reference. Now, obviously, Peach is kind of trying to keep even with Elioya. Obviously, has got a slight CS lead due to the fact Elioya went for a gank early. But, I will say this. XL, this game, has far better scaling than Game 1. And going into arguably I would say a less damaging Madlions squad than what they face in Game 1. They are looking a little better off with the picks. Obviously switching out Viego with now Sedge should allow a bit more sustain and peel for the Aphelios. But like, this gank won't work, by the way. Chasey just walks it out. And now that Alioya's pathing up was spotted out by a ward, shouldn't be anything really from the team. It's mid lane. Niski doing the work, forcing the glide out from Abadagi to live as a... That's such a good stop on jump. And XL gonna get themselves 2 kills back into their top lane. I'm surprised. Let's be honest. Odawarmne had an advantage for most of Game 1. And he didn't really get to use it. Honestly, I'd prefer if XL played a bit more split pushy. If you watch this fight again, simply put, they don't expect Peach to be still around. Oh, it's the E from the Sedge denies the full potential of the Nahop. And so when he goes under tower, just tanking it, he gets a nice double kill for Renekton. We need to see that pay dividends in this game. And I'll be honest, probably won't. Odo has played alright, but when it... this is where it matters most, is in this game. And the reason I explained what I said, that I'd prefer XL to split push, is because it just means that you force the Na or the LeBlanc away from a fight or your team. You've got an Aphelios who wants to scale. You've got an Azir who wants to scale. Just let them scale as a bot lane fight continues to break out here. Hylissang, he's going to fall to Patrick. Gold in the right target. And that is a great fight as flashing forward goes Limit. Going to lock up the Ivan who has no way of getting out. And is going to fall to Abadagi. The kills go in the right place here for XL. And you know, I personally was saying that I prefer split push out from XL in this game. And yeah, it probably sucks into static Shiv, LeBlanc, but hey. Abadagi gonna get the solo kill. That is huge for the morale of XL here, as they go 5 kills to the 1. So watching this again, XL on Drake, and forcing the flash out from Hilly early means he's now on Hex Flash, and so rooting him down with the Graviton allows time for Abadagi to come in. He could have obviously swept him away if needs be to secure the kill, because there would have been no escape for the Alistar. Then it's just Limit recognizing the fact, or being told, that Ivan has no flash. Big thing though is the extra kill going into Abadagi's pocket in the mid lane, secures that onto LeBlanc, and you know, now he sits with a nice bounty. Now, as we watch that replay, the two teams exited onto different sides of the map. XL taking Herald, Mad taking this Hextech Drake. Obviously, you look at Drakes in terms of the first 2 Drakes of the game, unless it's like Hextech, or Infernal Ocean, teams don't really preface it, and that's why you kind of see it get taken later than this point. But this game, because we've seen 2 of the first drakes be Ocean and Hextech, probably going to expect maybe a fight around the second drake. Just because it's a very nice drake to get. And with the fact that Chemtank, Cloud, also, and Mountain technically, are also not shown yet, it's more than likely going to be one of them for Soul. Yes, you could still technically get Infernal. That would be the most ideal. But, it's not looking good when 3 of the possible 4 options, well, I say 2 of the 4 options aren't the best. Mountain's alright. So teams don't really want to preface drakes when you see one of them as a soul. So XL kind of surprisingly give that first drake up for Herald, and we need to see how that's used. There's a good fight here, catches out Kazi thanks to a big burst from the Moonlight Vigil as a double kill goes over to him as Alistar had nowhere left to run. Herald finally going to be dropped down in this top wave, and that should probably give a load of plates over to Patrick, I should say. As mid lane, Niski looking to do it again, gonna try and burst out Abadage, but in the end, both mid laners survive the assassination attempts on both of their lives. Top side, Drake turret falls, so XL maintain a gold lead, similar to game 1, but they just throw it away. They need to be careful as the game gets later. And what I will say is, game 1, XL were always playing against a timer. This game, I'd say the timer is relatively the same. Just maybe a little bit shorter, because a LeBlanc with 2 items will hurt. Similar story from the Sivir, who has the Kraken Slayer picked up. Static Shiv also picked up for Niski. Going to be clearing out waves pretty quickly. And you know, as a Static Shiv enjoyer, you have to think, how is he going to pair it up? Because obviously Night Harvester nerfed for LeBlanc and other Static Shiv users, not able to proc the speed boost and the passive of that item. And personally, I wouldn't know what to pair Static Shiv LeBlanc up with now, as I think Ludens maybe something to just like when you go in with your auto, just proc it. But no, instead it's just going to be a collapse out on top side. Emperor's Divide comes through. Ivan going to deny any form of a glide, and the dive should come through, and that's going to be a shutdown over to Chasey. Gonna deny any sort of push that Abadali wants to get in the top side. Meanwhile, mid, Kazi being jumped on by Pete, forced to cleanse out. Flash comes through though from the Sejuani, who walks straight headfirst into LeBlanc. The Magnet Storm comes through, and that is going to be a trade between the mid and the jungler. Now the continuation of the fight as Alistar gets into the backside, going to be forcing the Ral out. Cleanse being burnt by Patrick as Elyoya trading heavily, going to be bursted out, as that's going to be both ADCs falling. Now, Hilly, you're on the run as the cavalry for XL arrives, and they're going to slice away your health bar. In the end, I believe that is a 4-for-2 in favor of XL. And wow, as that happened, Chasey got to the top lane and started pushing in tower. So yeah, that was a very extended fight. I forgot Abadage actually died in the top lane, so it was actually a 4-for-3. Maybe? Ugh. As the fighting actually hasn't stopped yet. Drake has spawned, and Nitsuki bursting out the target. And that target is Peach. He's locked up for ages as the kill goes over to the LeBlanc. Trust me when I say this fight, that should not have happened. And I think something that I've seen so far in the series is XL members overextending. Obviously, we've seen Limit trying to fight quite a lot. You want to just go in and kill. And we've also seen Peach just in bad positions. So, as we continue this game on, you have to think, will it come down to an XL misplay once again? Because right now, they're sitting with a decent goal lead. They're going to trade Herald number 2 for Drake number 2 for Mad. It's the same trade. This time they're using the Herald in the mid lane instantly. Try and get themselves all the outer towers. Should allow them to open up the map, and what do you know? Immediately roaming into this top side jungle. As Herald gets a second crash. That's huge. Will not get any more. XL. Kind of happy with that. Gonna get themselves Gale Force into Patrick's back pocket. Pretty big item there. A lot of safety. This bot side, Niski just continuing to push. Stark's picked up alongside a nice big bonus for the Oluwande. Kind of has been quiet. Haven't really talked about him too much in this series. He picked up an early double kill, and he's got himself another kill sometime since, but he's not really had an impact on the game. And the reason I'm saying this is because he was invested into by Peach early, got him them double kills, and that's something you need to pay attention to is my jungle investment worth it? Because right now, I would say no. Sure, it's a 1.9k gold lead for a Renekton into a Gnar. It's not what I would say is big. There's a limit. Gonna be locked up by the chains, jumped on by the Alistar. That's just an easy kill over to Mad. And that was a poor back. Yeah, I have to say it. I'm gonna go back. So he's backing. Niski puts the ward over the wall. I mean, if you're tabbed in your shop, you would not have noticed that. But if you're paying attention, you would have seen that. You probably would have jumped to the blast cone and then gone over. Like, I would have probably So, you know there's probably a target in that brush there. So you know there's a target there because that comes over. So like, I would personally jump here or down here. Blast cone. I'd probably end up walking that way because that's just a habit to walk there. But as a pro, so wait, no, that's your teammate. Yeah, I'd walk that way. Or downwards towards the Azir. This just, to me, is weird. So I would have jumped to there. Blast cone, safety, you break the chains as well. Yeah. This is just bad play from me. I hate to say it, but it is. Yikes. Getting absolutely destroyed. I just realized I have double desktop audio. This entire time I've had double audio, I apologize. That's annoying. Anyway. Why have I got double desktop? Who knows? Anyway. Let us take stock stock of what's happening. I'm going to do that. That's better. Now we can probably hear me. There. I apologize for fucking an hour. Yikes. Anyway. Let's keep going. Topside Odoamne gonna get collapsed on here. Ivan gonna come around the back with Daisy locking him up. TP gonna come through as well as a response comes through from XL. Odoamne gonna fall shut down on top of it. But it is gonna be a trade of top laners between the two teams. I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. Mad get more than what XL do in this play. The big shutdown gonna just deny so much from the split push effect that Odoamne kind of was trying to start up for XL. But it's just a good response from Mad as Chain's gonna miss out there and Abadagi gets a slide and glide away to safety. But Limit, he's looking to make a play. Niski did go quite far, but isn't going to be punished. Instead, turning their attention towards this Baron. Gold leads hitting at 5k in favor of XL. And with how the past fights have gone, it certainly doesn't feel that way. And you kind of have to think, well, how have they got that gold lead? Well, apart from plating, it's certainly the tower diff. Obviously, all the outers have fallen in favor of XL. Whereas only one has fallen on Mad's side of the map. For Mad. And that's kind of very impactful because obviously we know XL traded Drakes for Heralds. And while standing gold is very potent as a thing to get yourself an advantage into the game, Hilly could be caught out here, jumped on, forced to burn the ultimate, stunned up, locked up, he's being sacrificed, never mind. Headbutting the Croak to get to safety, he's on the tower and out of there. Good play overall from the support, I guess? I mean, he did just basically burn everything to try and escape and do so. But Baron started up now thanks to a lot of valuable things burnt by Mad. As the sliding glide comes through from Abdagi, he has just sacrificed himself for absolutely no reason. As the Baron secured by XL, but on the flank, here comes Chasey. He's going to be bursted out. Never mind, it's Niski. He's dead. But on the bottom half of the fight, Siva going to be a massive threat for XL to deal with. But they're not going to get it. And in the end, Mad push bot side, get themselves a tier 2. Gonna get themselves this tier 1 in the mid lane. They're opening up the map. In fact, remember when I was saying they hadn't got any outer towers bar the one in the bot lane? Well, they've certainly changed that story now as they've opened the rift as Hilly. Is he gonna go for a hero play once again? Will he get out? No, he won't. Instead, he falls like he should have done before. And with that, you have to think XL gonna get themselves this Drake with the fact that Hilly isn't up for another 12 seconds should mean the Drake stacking of Mad will be stopped and halted in its tracks as Niski already pushing in the side lane. And that's kind of a huge thing to note about this game. You think how I wanted to talk about Odo playing sides and split pushing, he's kind of being negated from doing so thanks to how Niski has played this game. He's just sitting constantly in sides, using static shift, clear out wave, and then go into the jungles and threaten dives as and when necessary. Just making it really hard for XL to play the map. And yeah, who was up top. Now he's in the bot lane. Just going to push it out. Obviously, tier 2 has already fallen down there. So he's going to be threatening the inhib towers. Baron, though, is secured for XL. Big thing to note. So they're going to have a better push here as they look to dive under Tower Hilly. He is getting quite low. Just above half HP. Spot side, though. XL give up on this push top, and instead Niski just crashing the minions into the inhib tower, but XL going for a suicidal play, getting Hilly low. They're not going to kill him off. Instead, it's going to be limit forced into status and burst it out as Kazi enters the killing spree. Bottom half of the fight, though, is Peach being caught out as Chasey pushes him into his team. Double kill over to this Sivir. Chase down is going to come through from Madlions as TP comes through from Niski. He's done pushing. Instead, he wants the life of Patrick, who's healing up from the minions. Is going to get the clone of the LeBlanc. And because of how much sustain this Aphelios has, this should be the fight well and truly over as Odo, he's here. But Mad, turning directly onto him, is going to force the retreat out, and in the end, fight 1 for Mad across the rift as they get themselves the inhibitor tower in the bot lane, as well as a big fight win in their own jungle. So this play, honestly, it's way too greedy from XL. Limit overextends in order to try and protect his team, who all bail on him. You had 3 members in that brush and they just went. They dipped. Did not want any part of that. And instead, you give over a couple of kills to Mad. And Niski, we already know he's got a lot of turret gold in his back pocket. So he's going to punch and hurt the health bars of XL pretty easily. But yeah. Getting back to live. Drake up in a minute 40. Probably not going to result in a big fight, but a Drake's a Drake. It's always good. I think there's going to be more contention over the Baron in a minute. As Niski, he's forced to flash out, as on the bottom half of this play, Ivan setting up these brushes, trying to give Hylissang a route in that's surprising. Peach smiting the Alistar, not going to get anything out from Hilly though, who just backs away. Zir Tower dropped in the mid lane. Should result in a lot of pressure for XL, who just retreat into the river, trying to secure enough vision, which they've done quite well. Mad just tanking up this tower, gonna kill that Sun Disc off as TP comes through. That's gonna be Abadage rejoining with his team. Bought up a Zhonya so he can go for that flight into the backside with the Emperor's Divide. That hasn't really been that effective. In fact, XL, I don't think have grouped up too heavily and utilized the Renekton, but they are in the pit. Starting this one up, Daisy walking forward, gonna spot out limit, only gonna land the Magnet Storm onto Hilly, whom it's just doing a lot of work tanking up the damage. Odo walking forward, he is bursted out and forced to die as the G8 is popped. On the other side, Hilly falls, but it's gonna be 4 members surviving on Mad's side and putting the health bars on XL quite low. Static Shiv from Niski doing work, chipping away at them health bars. Odo gonna look to possibly TP back in. In fact, he does. Baron below a half HP as Niski diving forward onto Peach. Health bars though of Mad slowly being decapitated away, chopped at as XL looking to fight. Baron is halted and Mad are happy with that as finally, they're going to get 5 members up here as Hilly respawns. Going to walk his way back in as Mad now turn towards the Baron themselves. They force the backs out from XL. And, you know, with Ivan, they put the brush down. It means that you cannot see what's happening. As that's actually a really nice play coming out from Alyoya. Putting the Q down onto the Nashor allows Hilly to get into the pit. And now the fight can begin as the Baron is secured by Mad. As the Magnet Storm comes through, locking down 2. XL going to pick up the first kills of the fight. And they're looking to get more as Hilly is on the run from the XL kill squad. Big fight overall as that's going to be the schedule wasted. As Drake now is on the plate. Niski. Uh-oh. Gonna be caught out. Gravitum is gonna land. Gale forcing forward is Patrick. Not gonna press his luck. Instead gonna back away towards this Cloud Drake. And allow XL to get themselves one away from Soul Point. So we watch this again. Simply put, Ivan controls pits very easily. As over the wall comes a Hex Flash from Limit. Gonna lock up basically the big damage dealers from Mad's side of the Rift. Chasey not able to mega out and do too much. And Sivir just gets cleaned off the Rift with the amount of damage that's just immediately put into her. And as I say, XL, while you may be winning fights, Mad are slowly but surely chipping away at you. They've got now Niski with a Baron buff, and let's be honest, Static Shiv, LeBlanc just able to control the wave, continue to push and harass. Just going to make it easy to push down these outer towers. Obviously, 2 remain on XL's side of the Rift, and going into Odoamne, you have to think that should be quite easy now that his J has been popped. Now, Hilly, going to be rooted, forced to ult. Crashdown comes through from the Rel, but Hilly is still alive and gets Redemption healed up, and Kazi somehow gets the first kill of the fight as Abadage, he gets an Emperor's Divide onto 2, but it's going to result in Kazi picking them off, killing them as a quadra kill goes over to the Sivir. It's just that damn easy when you play Ivan, as could this be a... never mind. Sivir don't want it. It's instead Odo slicing down the health bar and getting on a rampage as Niski didn't even join the fight, just continue to push. He has got himself a wave into this inhibitor tower in the top lane. And finally, Odo is going to make it back to base as, yeah, let's be honest, Mad just switched the pressure of this game completely on its head. They get a big team fight win. Somehow Kazi survives the burst combo thanks to probably the Ivan shields just doing so much work and the redemption. So we watch it again. I want you to focus in on Kazi. He's also got... oh, he's got the thingy from Hilly just to keep him up, topped up. But yeah, Kazi's just free firing in here. Abba's forced to wait before he can use his slide, because Kazi's Black Shield's the immediate engage, and he's just healing. And with the shielding coming out from Alyoya, it's just very hard to do anything against that. And as I said earlier in this game, Mad just want to scale and get to late, because Alyoya is just a menace on Ivan. Just the shields become unbearable, and it means that the fact that Kazi has Bloodthirster, he's just able to survive, heal, get shielded, also get more healing from the Ivan. It's just a very potent combination. The XL honestly should have banned it in game 1. They should have banned the Ivan. Sorry, in game 2 they should have banned the Ivan, considering how impactful it was in getting the first win for Mad. And so now that they're on the back foot, really, The goal lead still sits in XL's hands, but it's only a slight one. But item diff, there's nothing there. Both teams have relatively the same amount of items. Big things to note is top laners GAs are off cooldown. They'll have them for the ensuing fight. You've also got Zhonya's on the Azir, as well as a stopwatch on the Aphelios for XL. Mad side, they're sitting with only one stopwatch on Hilly, and that should be the go button if you have to think about it, because once he gets in, he wants to bait as much damage and spells onto him as possible. Use that stopwatch, get your second rotation of cooldowns, and just basically demolish the enemy team, thanks to the fact that your team will probably be very healthy and very able to do work. Now, backs are going to come through. Just the last setup for this Baron that's coming up in 20 seconds. You've also got the Cloud Drake. I don't think we'll see a trade for the objectives, because, let's be honest, Baron for the Soul Point isn't that big if you think about it, as Baron just outweighs it, simply put. Especially in this game state. You want to get the buff that allows you to push it for the end. And speaking of pushing for the end, Niski is just doing that. XL is stepping forward. 4 members, obviously Odo forced to respond. It just means that now XL are in a 4v4 and they somehow burst out the Ivan. They're going to get themselves the big kill fight as XL get back to safety and return straight to the Baron Pit as Odo, he's being killed off here, forced to flash in on top of Niski, gets the return flash, but he is forced into status. GA is popped. Niski gonna look to push for the game as Chasey has joined him. Mad, though, unable to stop the Baron from XL, who secured that for themselves, but they are turning straight towards the Drake pick. Kazi has joined up with his fellow carries, and this should be Cloud Drake over to Mad. Soul Point also for themselves. They get this one quick. Will they get out? You have to think Hilly probably will have to play Sacrificial Lamb. In fact, here comes Peach. Gonna be rooted. And yeah, Hilly, sacrifice to the sentry. Gonna get the rest of his team out. But you have to think now, 37 seconds on the clock for Hilly to respawn, and that's a 37 seconds in a 4v5 for XL. They should look to crack open these inhibitor towers with this Baron buff. Obviously, bot lane, bit of an issue because you've got pesky Niski constantly pushing in this wave. It means that outer tower will not fall, and XL actually all gonna back to try and stop Niski from doing what he is doing. And so XL just recover a little bit of that gold lead that they lost, back up to a 5k lead. As Niski possibly caught out limit there, but he is going to be backing away to the safety of that outer tower as Hex flashing Hilly gets to safety. And you know, XL, you have to think, this outer tower has been the bane of their existence as the engage comes through from Hilly. He's already chunked below a half HP. Moonlight Vigil also thrown out. Chakrams are stacked up. Patrick should look to burst through this tower pretty easily. Now, what can Mad do here to deny the backs? They're going to stop Odo from going back to base. And that's just huge because that top wave slowly is going to be pushing in favor of Mad. And they are obviously wanting to continue to harass and pressure out XL. And kind of denied the advantage of that Baron. Because let's be honest, apart from that outer tower. XL really didn't get much with that Baron. They got themselves a kill on Hilly as well. It's not the hugest of advantage that they just accrued for themselves. Whereas Mad, they're happy. Niski constantly pushing in. He's also gone with this weird build, I have to say. I was wanting to discuss it, but Leandri's on LeBlanc just seems weird to me. Because you got tick damage. I don't know if that tick damage procs Static Shiv. It may. I'm not 100% sure on it. Because if it does, that seems kind of broke. Speaking of LeBlanc, possibly caught out here, dashing forward. Gonna miss the Sedge ult, but he's still dead. Niski caught inside lane without vision in the jungle. And now XL prance their way forwards into the Mad Lions bottom half of the map. Gonna get themselves some buffs stolen away. And you know, this position, while it's a hard one to be in if you're XL, because you're constantly dealing with that split push threat of Mad, you have to think that now that Niski is dead, you are on the path to win. But the engage comes through from both teams as Hilly gonna lock up 4 in response. It's gonna be Odawamne. Bursted out, shut down, gnawing forward is Chasey as another shutdown goes over to this Sivir. This is Mad Lions fight as they pick off 2 members as Patrick, he is not able to protect his support as Peach coming in on the side, gonna catch out the cow. It's gonna be a trade of kills in that sense. But Niski, he's back, he TP's in and he's looking to push for the base of XL. And now the game is well and truly over, just like that. One misstep and it's over. One fight just means your base is in tatters as Peach, he is the next target as Chasey forced into GA, trying to kill off Patrick, not allow him to defend the wave. Nah, goes forward. That is a resurrection being procced onto Patrick and he is killed off. Shut down. Mad. Get to 2-0. Just like that, the game ends. An advantageous point for XL throughout it all. Till they just lose in a siege. That's the easiest way to describe that game. And I mean, Niski constantly harassing sides made this game very much winnable for Mad, because he just kept getting side objectives. Now, I'm going to go into my favorite website, GOL, and show you that series as a whole. Jesus, look how long this laundry list is. Go to the match list, we'll go to that one. Tomorrow, obviously, we'll break down G2 BDS, because why wouldn't we? Just, I want to look at the goal graph for game number 2 before we do anything for game 3. That's not my big, nice timeline. Yeah. That's my nice one. Yeah. Seems like XL were always an advantage. Like here. Still up, gold. 1k. And they lost. Yeah. This was a bad game. Kazi, obviously, with the ricochets and the boomerang throws, does a lot of damage. Niski has quite low damage if you think about it, because he was split pushing. Doesn't it explain why Abba's is quite low as well? But yeah, it's just, I felt bad for Odo. You think he was given an advantage, and he did more damage than Chasey. But like, he couldn't really use it because he was constantly having to respond to Niski's sides. It was a very hard position he was put in. Like, 7-2-4. He was strong. So was Patrick. But Matt just outplayed the fight. They won a 4v5, technically, due to an overreach from XL. And you have to think, going into their next series, because we're going to look at Game 3 in here, you have to think, going into their next series against BDS? Or, no, they're going against either SK or Fnatic, I don't know which. I'll have to check that right now, because I'm pretty sure it did just say. We'll click on that and see who it is. So as you can tell, I haven't predicted this. Okay, they're going against... Oh god, that's going to be a fun one. Can't wait to look at that series. I'm going to turn my webcam on for the last bit of the stream. He says, okay, my face cam doesn't want to appear. Nice. Well, you're not getting to see my face. Oh well. Let's talk about it. Game 3. Let's look at draft. Clearly, Niski has been playing Talia. Because otherwise, why would you ban it? Don't know what's happening with my face cam. It's weird. Yay, there we go. So, this game as a whole, move myself up here. It honestly was weird to look at because you've got clearly XL experiencing trauma of a Niski Talia, and it just makes me think he was split push threat and then just using his ult to get away, or just being a constant threat to sides. And that's something that you have to think probably is how he's been using it, because the style de LeBlanc was being played was clearly split push fiasco. Also, I like the change of build in this game. He didn't rush Leandries like he did in Game 2 for his second item. And I think that was a better call. In fact, it looks like he was negating his mythic altogether. Let's look at the actual rest of the draft. Ivan finally removed by XL. Smart decision. Elyo was a menace on that. And obviously now we know Mad will face G2 in the upper bracket final. I think the big thing to say about that one is Yike's also a prolific Ivan player. And I think it's going to be interesting to see whom gets Ivan, because they'll be wanting to contend for that pick quite a lot, I feel, considering how well Oyoyo played in this series. I think it's going to maybe define how bans go between the two teams. That's just my take. I also think we need to look at Cog and Braum as big bans in that series, which we'll discuss tomorrow. But yeah, the rest of this draft, standard. I'm surprised Renekton got banned out by Mad. I think looking at how it went, they kind of forgave. Also, they actually banned the Ezreal Xayah Game 3 XL. Like, the draft seems so weak from Europe. Especially this series. Like, I get the drafts, but I also think that they seem dumb. Like, Varus, I now understand why it was banned by XL, because clearly Kazi has been playing it. But, like, his Ezreal's a lot more potent because he's just able to safely harass and farm. And considering he didn't go on a massive rampage like he did in game number 2, you have to think that wasn't as threatening as the Kaiser, which Patrick got his hands on. Game number 3 looks like a top diff more than anything. It looks like Poppy paid a nice amount of visits up to Odo, force him behind. That's just my take. I have seen the game. I don't remember it off the top of my head, like I do most games. I have to watch it before I know what happened. But just looking at everything, nothing really stands out to me, other than obviously Niski changing his build, foregoing the Mythic. It's a lot of poke for the Matt Adeline side of things, if you think about it. Let's just take a quick look at the timeline. Chasey on Odo with Poppy, Odo on Elioya. So that's basically turret dive gone wrong, trading it 1-for-1. Chasey getting punished by Peach and probably the same play. So Odo actually gets the lead. It's just the fact that bot side Kazi kills off limit. Doesn't surprise me, honestly. With how aggressive they've been, that's a turret dive by all 4 members. Also got Chasey killing off Odo and with a roam, presumably, from Hilly. Peach takes Drake in the same moment. So yeah, that's just a play on the other side of the map. It makes sense. Hilly roaming top when Drake's being taken just means bot side's in danger due to the fact that jungle is there, yeah. Makes sense overall from a lot of these. A lot of turret plates being traded either side. Do we have a turret plate thing? I do not. I would like to have a thing where it tells me how many turret plates were taken by each team. Just a personal gripe. XL stacking Drakes. Nice, you love to see it. It isn't going to be Chemtank or Ocean. It's Mountain. That's alright. I think this is where we start to see, though, Mad taking control of the game. The fact that they get Herald, Kazi gets Tower in mid, presumably off of a Herald drop, into Elioye taking Drake. Yeah, they give overkill on the top half, bottom half of the map. In the same instance, presumably it's just a team fight that Jay-Z's just having to sack. Yeah, then it's just probably overstayed by Patrick, gets caught out, and just mass blood and mad control of the game thanks to Patrick getting shut down. I think that's how that game went. It's just Niski controlling the game with LeBlanc. Simple as. Not really much needs to be said, other than this game looks very dominant from 20 minutes onwards for Mad. And XL not really given any pathway in. And it kind of seems that Odo was subdued in this series. Like, don't get me wrong, he got advantages, but he couldn't really utilize them, as he was just forced to deal with other things. And that seems to be the story of this series, is Mad playing the map better than XL, and also just kind of dealing with XL when they haven't. Just choosing their fights pretty well. And let's be honest, Mad have been known as a team fighting team for many years. And so the fact that they won a series in season finals, gives slightly more hope for me at Worlds for this team, because the fact that they won one. They do now have a tough test in G2, which obviously, as stated, we'll be covering tomorrow. But like, do I think that this series was a good one? No, I don't. I think this was pretty poor in terms of drafting by Excel. They put themselves in a very hard corner to get out of. And yeah, Mad just punished. It was well played by Mad in that regard. Anyway, with that, I'm tired. I'll be probably starting to stream at the same time as today. Just get myself prepared for it a little bit more. And with that, I'm going to say thank you very much for joining me. If you've enjoyed it, leave a like. Subscribe if you're new around here, or if you want to. I'll see you guys tomorrow for some G2 BDS, and then on Friday for the predictions for round 2. You don't want to